This episode is supported by FX's Clipped, the scandalous story of the 2014 Clippers owner's racist remarks captured on tape and heard around the world.
The series charts the tape's impact on a dysfunctional basketball organization striving to win against their reputation as the most cursed team in the league.
Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Jackie Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman, and Ed O'Neill. FX's Clipped, streaming June 4th, only on Hulu.
T-Mobile has invested billions to light up America's largest 5G network, from big cities to small towns, including right here in yours. And great coverage is just the beginning. Right now, families and small businesses can save up to 20% versus AT&T and Verizon when they switch. Visit your local T-Mobile store today.
Plan savings with 3 lines of T-Mobile Essentials versus comparable available plans. Plan features and taxes and fees may vary.
Graduation is a sweet occasion, but finding the perfect gift can be a bitter struggle. MMS.com has a solution. Personalized M&Ms. Just imagine the look on your grad's face when they receive a custom candy creation featuring their school's colors, name, and even their photo printed right on some M&Ms. It's a thoughtful way to celebrate their accomplishments and make the occasion even more special. Visit MMS.com to create your own personalized gifts and party favors for graduations, weddings, birthdays, and more. That's MMS.com. Use code WONDERY to receive 15% off your next order.
Happens when there's so much that happens. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that happens?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe.
So then we move on to Lala's pregnancy and her dating life. And, she's having a little girl. She's so excited. They chose the donor at the party, blah, blah, blah. My eyes are starting to, get heavy at this point because, I don't care. And then, she's just she's giving Ocean everything, but it's really hard for her to see the other kids because they go to their dads and they get to go to their moms together. They come back to their dads and she wants one that she can just keep all the time,
Yeah, not to give the other one a complex as being the lesser one that's not fully hers.
Super weird that she's still doing that because surely somebody at some point has been like, your daughter's going to hear this one day and it's going to make her feel othered. Or
you're
the real
kid,
one.
Right. You're the kid who's sort of like the runt who gets passed around as opposed to the precious one that's all mommies.
And she's like, and by the way, I'm much hotter to guy snouts because they're all trying to get up in these titties. Yeah, yay. So then Sheena and Brock's segment. And we talk about Summer Moon, and then that moves over into Sheena's OCD thing, her postpartum OCD thing. And she's like, oh my God, it's so hard having that because you start worrying about such things. Is she going to be okay? And what's going to happen if I leave the house? And what's going to happen if there's enchiladas in the oven, but I forget that there's enchiladas in the oven and Auntie isn't there to take them out. And then Summer tries to take them, but she doesn't know how to use oven mitts yet. Her hands are going to hurt. How is she going to high five anybody ever? She's never going to be able to congratulate her friends.
What's going to happen if Dancing with the Stars calls home and then the only one who can answer the phone is Summer Moon? And then I miss the call. Her hands are burnt from enchiladas and no one can answer the phone.
Andy just goes, got it. All right. So then we get a flashback to the anniversary dinner where they're talking about their relationship and about basically Brock's parenting and this is his second chance to be a parent, and that Tom's affair made her think that Brock could have sex with Lala. If Tom could do that with Raquel, then Brock could do that with Lala. And she's like, yeah, sometimes I do live in the comment section and there were a lot of comments you don't even know how to spell apples. And then I respelled it, and then the song was released. So thank you, comment section. What were we talking about?
APLS.
The original version. APLS.
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 So
how you like that? It was supposed to be a song about the Alps, but I kind of got a little dyslexia. Anyway.
So Lala's like, look, you know what? Yes, what I can do is promise her that would never happen with me and Brox. Because, like, of course, I look at him a certain way, and he stepped up to the plate. And when, like, there were no men around to give me help me sort of navigate, it's like we are a throuple, right? So I'm never ever going to sleep with Brock because he's like a member of my throuple. He's like, it's almost like we're having a menage a trois. It's like we're almost like, it's like Sheena's sitting in a chair and she's watching me and Brock do it, you know, because we're that close, you know. So don't worry, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know why she's so paranoid about it, but like it's so nice sitting with them as a family of three, like, you know, sharing a nice spit roast. It's really nice, Andy's.
Hey, Brock.
I don't know that I would feel much more confident after that Lala answer. She's like, yeah.
It's like we're in a throuple.
Yeah. She's like, of course I love Brock. He's the man in my life. But I don't have to blow him. I was like, okay. Sheena's just, you just see Sheena inside and like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Hey, Brock, I saw that you and Sheena took a trip to Australia recently. Were you able to see your ex-wife and kids now? And how long did it take for Sheena to stop staring at the toilet, flushing in the other direction? Well, it was about three days before Sheena stopped marveling at that. And unfortunately, you know, at this point, it's up to the kids if they want to see me. So he starts talking about the kids and, you know, the kids, like, and all that. He's caught up with the child support. And, of course, Andy is doing whatever he can to make Brock cry, which is pretty easy. You know, like, so, kids, huh? Yeah, is this your second chance of being a dad? You want to cry about that? You want to cry about second chance, your dad to 3 kids being against one? You want to cry? You want to cry? So, of course, Brock's crying. And then everyone's being like, you're a good dad. And Katie's like, I will say, it was really incredible watching him with Summer, and it makes me definitely eat my own words. So, to that, I say, reverse.
And then we see her words, what they were years ago, and she's like, okay, well, they're not seeing his kids for like years and years. Okay, but why? Because he couldn't. But why? Because, well, he wasn't paying child support. But why? Because he couldn't see his kids, so he just wasn't going to pay child support. Okay. But why? I was like, wow, how long did this go on?
I know. If you're eating your words,
Katie
that
was
is
probably
words
there
in
an
a slow
entire
cooker.
season.
I know. It's a long time.
Go in and save Katie. They're like airlifting Katie out. They're like, it's an emergency. We're getting you out of here, ma'am. But why? But then he crossed the road to help his other child across the street, but she wouldn't walk with him. But why? And then they went to McDonald's, but he wouldn't get her chicken nuggets. But why? Like,
the philosopher of our generation.
You just see a helicopter lifting out of there. Katie, like, arms just splaying out. But why?
She's going to get to the center of the universe. But this Earth was part of something larger. But why?
So Katie's like, we cut back, and Katie's like, I'm a harsh judge of character, and it's mostly a protection thing for myself and for my friends. But like,
why?
You're an amazing father.
And by the way, I appreciate that you've remained committed to your Speedos. Let's put up some photos of that. Ha ha ha. Thank you.
Okay. So Ariana's boyfriend segment. Here we go. So we talk about all her brand deals and about how successful she is and Dancing with the Stars, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which, by the way, was just sullied by having Jackson Brittany there. And she had a New York Times best-selling cocktail book. And he's like, I'm exhausted just from saying all of this, Ariana.
Yeah, well, being in New York for Broadway has really been so fun because being across the country and just getting to see each other and talk to each other here and there. When I say here and there, I specifically mean the Great White Way, also known as Broadway. Well, it's just a lot different than, what's for dinner kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And he's like, okay. And so LVP's like, are you living with him? Yeah, that. And she's like, no. He has his own apartment. I mean, gross. Like, let's get real. And so is she going to leave LA? Is he going to move to New York? And blah, blah, blah. And no, they're not doing that shit. They're going to just stay long distance and see how that works out. I'm honestly bored. I'm bored with the relationship because he just seems nice and she seems nice. And I don't know. I'm bored. It's Vanderpump Rules. Like, call me when he's done something terrible. Tell me when I can rally for you. Otherwise, yeah.
Well, James, last year you started with Allie pretty soon after you and Rachel broke up. Why do you think your new relationship was more scrutinized than Ariana's? Aside from the fact that Ariana was fan favorite, everyone just wanted her to get with a hot guy, and everyone thought you were kind of just like faking it to try to get over Bruce's ego with Raquel. But why do you think people scrutinized you? He's like, well, Andy, because when the breakup happened, everyone chose her side instead of mine, right? And like Rachel, she was like the it girl, and like me and Ali Bally were like the people that were still around. We're like the two fat sluts that hang out at the county fair waiting for extra cotton candy to fall out of the machine, you know? So that's the people like, oh, hey, how are you? You know, which I'm fine with. Like, I don't really give a shit. It is what it was. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit at all. I'm not mad about it at all whatsoever. I played Coachella. But look, I'm over that, you know? Because, like, the question was like, why do you think, like, Ariana has an easier time with getting done 10 days later when I met Ali 2 months later? You hypocrites. You asshole hypocrite, fat slut, people in the audience. But I don't know. I'm cool with it. I'm cool.
I don't know that all of these relationships are comparable. It's so weird how they compare everything. It's like, why does Katie not get the same kind of attention Ariana got when Katie broke up with Tom, which is the thing later? They're not all the same situation, okay? You had like the head cheerleader and the quarterback, and everyone thought they were going to be together forever. And then you find out that the quarterback's been banging the best friend for. I mean, it's a different story than everything else. Also, James is a wreck of a human being, and everybody was cheering for Raquel to leave him in the first place. Yeah. So him getting together with somebody wasn't some like great thing James did. It was like a band-aid for his reputation and his bruised ego, as you said. I think that was a good way to put it. And also, James appeared on Instagram. Like, I will never forget these videos. They were so manic. He'd be like, hello, here I am in Bali with Ali Bali. Look, isn't she gorgeous? I've never been this in love. I've known her for 2 days. God, I'm in love with you. Talk about how in love you are. Hi. Just gonna look at it. Did you hear? It was basically a soliloquy by one of the best artists of all the time, William Shakespeare. Boy George. I'm sorry. What's my godfather's name again? George Michael. That's what I meant. God damn it. But I love you. May have forgotten George Michael's name for a second, but I didn't forget yours, Ali Bali. You want to get married? No. God, I love you. We're having babies soon. Check back on Instagram in 5 minutes. Like, he was so manic and crazy from the first second with her that it's just, I don't know. It wasn't the same.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is with James and Raquel, we always sense that like they were kind of playing house, and James was constructing like everything is good now, even though I have raging, alcoholic issues and issues with my parents, and everything is broken in my life. I have a beautiful girlfriend, and everything is perfect in our life. And so when she finally got out of that like distressing environment, and he immediately found someone else to be like, everything's fine, we all felt like, something's still wrong here. But with Ariana, we're like, oh, she was just wronged, and she deserves a hot piece of ass right now. So I think it's a pretty simple difference between the two of them.
Yeah, and so Ariana's like, yeah, it wasn't just 10 days, by the way. He goes, well, whatever it was. What was the exact number? All right, let's get it. Was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And she goes, I met him. And he's like, yeah, she met him 10 days later. And she goes, months. It's in months. He's like, months. Mine was months. Mine was 2 months. Months. It's like, oh, God, who cares? No, I don't think anyone's fully buying either one of these yet. Oh, I guess the Ali Bali thing until she sat on the couch and she's like, I don't really want to have kids with you. I don't want to get married to you either. He's like, oh, she's like, yeah.
Yeah, and so Schwartz is like, you have to keep it in consideration, like towards the end of a relationship, like mentally, you're kind of slowly figuring out a way to transition out of it. So maybe it's not that shocking when you start dating someone. Dude, Tom was fucking Raquel at the same time, okay? None of you knew about it, okay? And then here comes Ali Bali, my new girlfriend, best girlfriend of all time. Ali Bali, almost as good as Hippie. Best little dog in the world. I'm going to marry Hippie. Ali would be our flower girl. Anyway, but no, it was her best friend. She was at your house 24/7. You were getting wee-wee sucked downstairs and you fucking knew about it, you fat slut.
Okay, dude. Okay. But this is facts, guys. All right, that's why that's a clear line was drawn. All right, because that's not the facts. That is not the facts. Which, I mean, it was. So obviously, it was harder for me to even like be friends with you guys at that point, right? But I got over it because I never dated Ali, I never dated Bali, and I never dated Ali Bali. All right, never doubted her. And like I knew through time, you're gonna love Ali. I knew. But I'm over it. I'm totally over it. Not feeling anything at all, even though you were basically getting your wee-wee stuck in the basement.
Well, you don't seem very over. You seem a little hot about it. Well, why are we talking about something so old anyways? And by old, I mean Sandoval's face. Let's be honest, everyone. He's old, I'm young.
And Brock's like, you've done so much growth. We've all seen it. Oh, really, Brock? Okay.
Here comes...
Looks like it. James is like slowly unraveling. Like,
I'm not Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Who's saying I'm unstable? Let one go damn person. It's like popping off. And Brock's like, God, you've changed so much, bro. You've just changed so much.
I'd like to apologize for making you feel like that, dude. So, obviously, I was hurt. It's like, yeah, but he just apologized. Do you have a response to that? It's like, oh, sure. Like, dude, thank you. Brock and I have gone miles. And he texted me yesterday and like he's just like showing me so much support. Like the other day he said, when are you going to get married to that dog of yours? What a sexy dog. And I said, I know. I can't wait to get married to Hippie. So then we cut over. Now start talking about Sandoval's new girlfriend, this model. And Sandoval's like, yeah, it's going really great. Like she doesn't watch the show at all. She has like her own successful career. She has her own house. It's like amazing, bro.
She's a model, guys. He's like, yeah, a shock. And used to date Leo DiCaprio, aged out of Leo, apparently. And he's like, yeah, I mean, that was a while ago, but yeah. And she's like, so you're up to date then, Andy. You really know everything, don't you? He's like, yeah, I mean, I read about it. I'm really into it. It's exciting. Does she have new boobs? What face is she on? What number face?
It's kind of freaky because Sandoval has, like, in the washroom of his house, right? He has this custom wallpaper, and in one of the wallpaper pictures is Leo leaving the chateau with Michelle Lally from the Valley. Isn't that wild, But then I looked closer, and there's another picture of Leo with this girl. Isn't that just the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life?
But then there's a picture of Rob Reiner, the director, with this girl. And then I realized, no, it's Rob Reiner with Michelle Lally. It's very tricky.
It actually tells a story. You have to go from panel to panel. What you see is Rob Reiner grabbing Michelle Lally out of Leo's arms, and then the next one is Rob Reiner pointing his finger at Leo's face, saying, "You'll never work at this town again." And then the next picture is Leo with this girl, and the next picture is Michelle Lally crying in the arms of Rob Reiner. It's a whole crazy story.
And then LVP is like, well, why is he in his washroom? Like, LVP do you even watch this show? What is James doing in Tom's washroom? Oh, wait, am I saying, what is Leo DiCaprio doing in the washroom? I'm not really sure what I'm saying. This is the one about the hotel in France, right?
It's like, no, I just remember everything about that wallpaper. It's legendary. I mean, it's got fucking Park La Brea on it. Okay, you've got like State Park. Park La Brea? Park La Brea is on the wallpaper. Park La Brea is like the it's like the housing community that's next to the nice housing community that Grove. Lauren Conrad lived in the hills. Like there's like the nice one, the Palazzo, and then there's the one next to it, the sad one.
That's Park La Brea. That's the one by the Grove, right?
Why is Park La Brea on your wallpaper?
It's like the farmer's market. It's all sad. There's flies everywhere. So Ariana's like, I mean, it's in the mudroom off the garage. It's my house. I picked it. I know the wallpaper. Okay. So then Andy asked Schwartz and Lala if they were a little flirty this year. And then we see them getting juice together where he's like, I like dried strawberries. And she's like, oh my God, it looks like they have dates. And he says, are we on a date? And she's like, no, I said it looks like dates. They make me shit. And Andy's like, wow, the sexual tension. Crazy.
Where did this come from? No one has spoken anything about any kind of sexual tension. Not on the show, not in the audience. Nobody. No one has picked up on this. Which horny ass segment producer back there forwarded this agenda? Because this is not a thing.
And actually, I don't think anybody said the word sexual tension between or about these characters with anybody else when has anybody ever said, whoa, Lala sure has a lot of sexual chemistry, or Schwartz has a lot of sexual chemistry with fill in the blank? Never. Who? Name one.
Literally no one.
Can't do it.
No one.
Not
a single person.
LaDawn. She talked about squirting a lot, but she was overcompensating in the squirting talk. And then Schwartz, Schwartz had chemistry with Joe. I guess I just ruined my own thing, right?
Yeah, either way. But chemistry,
He had a weird kid in the cafeteria chemistry with Joe.
Yeah. So,
never mind. I quit.
Ooh, I love to see Lala and Schwartz. That would be a beautiful thing. See you next season. And Schwartz is like, oh, you thought that was flirting, Andy? Oh, there was like a little like repartee, but like, no, there was no flirting because it was flirting. I'd be saying, oh my God, Lala, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And then she'd be like, really? I'd be like, why do you want to be so attached to me? Stop it. Stop it.
I'd be like, hey, Lala, you need somewhere to stay? You should stay at my house. Get out of my house, stalker. Get out of my house. So Katie's like, well, there seemed to be flirtation, mostly on your part, Tom.
First of all, I would never do that because Katie's my homie, as you will see by the end of this episode. And like, I would eat this man alive. Like, I think that's probably the concern.
I like that Lala was just like, it's just because I'm so mean to everybody all the time that when I'm nice to them, you guys think I want to fuck them. That's why I can't be nice to anybody.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go to commercial break and let's see. So Andy's like, wait a minute. I didn't say everybody get up. I said it was commercial break. Where's everybody going? It's not a commercial break. And she's like, I gotta pee. Sorry.
Yeah, everyone's peeing.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a car. It's the two-door coupe that was there for your first drive. The hatchback that took you cross-country and back. And the minivan that tackles the weekly carpool. For the cars you couldn't live without, trust Amica Auto Insurance. Amica. Empathy is our best policy.
The Coca-Cola Company, Keurig Dr. Pepper, and PepsiCo are bringing consumers more choices with less sugar than ever before. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages sold contain zero sugar. Visit balanceus.org to learn more.
What makes a life a good one? Is it the adventure you have? Or the friends you find along the way? Maybe it's pursuing your passion while striving to protect, defend, and save what you believe in every single day. So what makes a life a good one? In the Coast Guard, we think it's all of the above and more. But you'll have to find out for yourself. Visit gocoastguard.com to learn more.
So now we're back to break, and so now Lisa, talking about Lisa closing Pump. So, yeah, after a decade of parties, pumpties, and panic attacks from Schwartz, hold on, Lisa decided to close Pump for good. Do you feel like you made the right decision, Lisa? She said, well, for a restaurant to be in existence for 10 years is a success. I mean, we single-handedly brought back teeny tiny little frozen shrimp on salads. That was us. But we just felt it was time to call it. We couldn't make a profit there with the rent increase.
So he's like, so you moved parts of that restaurant over to Tom Tom. Why didn't you consult the guys about that before you did it? And she's like, oh, God, we were in the middle of such a shit show with the backlash from Tom Tom. We were actually talking about changing the name of the whole place to Peter Peter or Jax Jax.
Well,
Surely there's no other characters we could name a restaurant after that would profit. Katie, Ariana? No, there's no ring to that. They don't have penises and they haven't abused anyone emotionally. It just doesn't sell the same, you know what I mean?
We did consider Veil, but oh no, it's a little old. So Andy is like...
It just sounded like there's always tables ready. You know, you want people to think they can't get in, darling.
Well, were you worried that Ken and Lisa were trying to turn Tom Tom into Pump? And Schwartz goes, you mean like diluting the brand? Which I think was his way of being like, they're diluting our brand by putting that shit up there. You mean the Tom Tom brand? No, I didn't feel that way at all. I didn't feel at all like they were diluting the brand with all the pump on it. I was like, this is so Schwartz. He's always so nice and sweet, but he gets his little zingers in there.
And Andy goes, so what is the Tom Tom brand, would you say? And everyone starts
Lazy
laughing.
and
And he goes, it's ever evolving. And Lala goes, did it ever exist? And they're just all making fun of them. And Lala goes, it was the bejeweled lightning bolts. Like,
it was, which is hilarious that the lightning bolt returns. So then Andy's asking about, like, so what's going on with something about her? Like, because we were last year, you were saying it's about to open. And we see that flashback with, like, it's about to open in, like, 3 weeks. So Katie's like, well, we did not know it was lying ahead. We just had, like, a bunch of red tape. Mainly it was Ariana's reunion dress, honestly. It was just so distracting. I couldn't really work. But, all sorts of issues with everything.
And Lisa's like, no, I disagree. It was a multitude of things. Disagreements. Ariana being away, fighting, Chef Penny walls, claws out, rah, rah, ladies tussling on the ground, pulling each other's hair. I deserve the man. I deserve the man. You know women, Andy. They're like,
Not
what the fuck
pendulums.
are you talking about? That's not true. And Ariana's like, we never had any disagreement about me being away. And they just look at her like, what the fuck? But I think this is like last year when Lisa Vanderpump's like, no, there's drama. Or at BravoCon this year when they're like, what's coming up this season? And everyone's like, it's really sad. It's depressing. Yeah, it's the most depressing season we've ever done. She says, no, drama, fights, gun shower, acid rain, war, love, romance, more fights.
Yeah, she's definitely trying to make it seem like a thing. But I mean, there clearly is some dysfunction happening there. And Lisa, I think, is probably pissed that they got rid of Chef Penny because Lisa is friends with Chef Penny. Like, Penny was like her person. And she put Penny in there. And Penny was both supposed to help them also, I think, to relay information to Lisa. So I think Lisa's like a little salty about this. So Andy's like, well,
at this part, I thought, oh, she's just being ridiculous and trying to make drama. So that's why I'm being like that right now. But then later, when we find out what has been happening kind of behind the scenes, it's like, oh, maybe that's why she got that. Because maybe Katie was just kind of venting to people and then kind of got called out on it.
Right. Well, so Andy's like, well, given how much grief you guys gave the boys for opening up Schwartz and Sandy's, is there any part of you that's like, hold my beer, Schwartz? And Schwartz is like, no, I feel your pain. I know how frustrating it can be. You're dependent on so many other people. I totally get you. And James is like, yeah, but like a small part of you, I saw that smile. I was like, it literally went like from ear to ear. And like when you said you're not, like it's when they said it's not open yet, your face was like, room. And they show a flashback of Schwartz totally smiling, like, ha ha.
Yeah, and Sandoval's like, yeah, now they know how hard it is. And Ariana's like, I always knew how hard it was, and I was always supportive of that restaurant. They're like trying to impart this personality on her that she hasn't shown. It's really weird.
But also, like, their shit is delayed because of like bureaucratic West Hollywood bullshit, and also issues with Penny. Like, Schwartz and Sandy's was delayed because of full on like ego and laziness. Like Sandoval going off to perform with his band, then wanted to like build elaborate trestles and like starry night experiences over like a specific table and booths. Like that's why they were delayed.
So let's move on. What did it feel like for Ariana to watch Lala interact with Sandoval? Did she want to take a step back? And she's like, no. And Lala said, be honest. Did it make you want to take a step back? And she goes, okay, well, I haven't really watched any of the season, to be honest, so...
What? Why didn't you watch the show? Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so many ways to do it, and the show had gotten so broad. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a broad way of me saying I haven't been watching. Broadway. I'm on Broadway, Andy. I don't have time to watch this shit. So
I'm a New Yorker now. We don't even have TVs. So I'm a theater person, Andy.
Unless it's hosted by Mary Sunshine, I really don't care. So Ariana's like, in previous seasons, I'd watch everything. But this one, I felt like I just don't want to get dragged back to this time of my life when I felt like everything. I was just like trying to live in the present because I have a hot boyfriend and I'm more successful than I've ever been. So why do I want to watch Tom Sandoval?
So Lala's like, I was transparent with you. And she goes, yeah, and I appreciate that about Lala because, you told me I'm working through stuff and I got that. I get it. She's being so nice. Like, I can't. Lala's just trying to poke and it's not getting anywhere. And it's so funny. Ariana just keeps being nice. She's like, I get it. You blame me for a lot of shit that was in your own. You've got a lot going on. I totally get it. Abuse me. Do what you got to do, Lala. And so then we moved to the Katie and Lala argument. So then that's when they were both like, oh yeah, bitch, you don't talk to me like that. Oh yeah, say it with your whole chest, bitch. Oh yeah, bitch, you better watch your fucking face. You're gonna get some pops in your popper. Oh yeah, bitch, you don't have enough street in you for this street. I'm not just a street, I'm a whole neighborhood. Oh yeah, bitch, papa. I was like, all right, Tupacs. It's like Tupac and Biggie's like circling around the block. Both of you, calm it.
So Andy's like, what do you think was the root of why you two weren't connecting, aside from the fact that you guys never really seemed to have a true, genuine friendship in the first place? Katie's like, well, I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. And I know exactly why, okay? It's like, why? And Katie's like, no, I thought we did, connect, whatever, but eventually figure it out. Like, it started because, like, her and Sheena started getting close, and then Sheena and I were not in the greatest place. So I felt like, okay, what's going on? What's that going to do to our friendship? And Lala's like, yeah, buts. And so Andy's like, well, did Katie getting closer to Ariana affect your relationship, Lala?
So basically, this comes down to Katie's acting like, what? I have no idea why Lala is mad, which is very weird for Katie, because I feel like Katie would normally jump right into this, especially with Lala. Like, she's not afraid of Lala, And it's not that she's acting like she's afraid of her. It's just there's something odd. You can tell there's something going on. So Lala's like, okay, well, there was a DM. And this initial DM, she was upset about Sheena. And what she put in there was very hurtful, Andy. It was very hurtful. She talked about my custody battle. And Katie's like, what? When did I? You did, Katie. You talked about it. You said, get rid of your lawyers because what you need is a fucking therapist. You're a fucking clown. And LBB goes, what? And she goes, I didn't say get rid of your lawyers. She goes, yes, you did. You said get rid of your lawyers. You need a therapist. Okay, well, who cares? How in the world are you going to be friends with Katie and then be shocked that you get in an argument and she said, you think you need lawyers? Get a therapist, you fucking clown. That really seems pretty innocent to me. Doesn't it to you? Would you be mortified and be like, how dare you? You came for my custody battle. Those are my children. We always called it Lala would be this type, who whenever she got in a fight, she would go, I am a mother. How dare you?
Well, I mean, it's just funny that Lala's so mad at the phrase, get rid of your lawyers, what you need is a therapist, when that's like actually a phrase that I can 100% imagine Lala saying to anyone. She literally says at the end of the episode, something about her, more like nothing about her. So like, I know that Lala wants people to be softs with her right now, but like, come on, get a grip. And Katie, though, meanwhile, is hilarious because she's like, I never said any of this. And now she goes, well, I don't think I said get rid of them. She's like, what I said was, you need a therapist in addition to your lawyers. That's basically what she's implying. Like, okay, I guess I did say that, but I said retain your legal counsel because you will need them. Yeah, but they got in
an argument. She told her get a therapist, and now Lala's saying she's coming for my custody. She did not. Give me a break. And Katie goes, yeah, but everyone needs a therapist, so it was totally innocent. And she goes, yeah, well, I think everybody needs a therapist, but here's why I felt we were on rocky ground. So let's talk about what we saw on camera. Girls' night. And we see the girls' night fight, like finger gunning each other. And then we come back and Lala's like, I wasn't trying to make it about me. I was trying to make you see that I see you, Katie. I see you. Katie, I see you. I see you.
And I want you to know. And then you jump down my throat, and I'm like, what the fucks is this? You call me a clowns. And Katie's like, yeah, the way I was seeing you, it was like, if you can see the situation as being similar, which I didn't always see it being that way, then see yourself in her shoes. You're in this place that you're like looking back with all the miles behind you. So you don't you think that like it'd be good for me to do it? It's like, hold on. She's like 5 months into it. And I was just like, stop telling people how they should be handling the situation. That's my job on this show, okay? Like, but why? So Lala's like, I was giving her the heads up, like he's probably gonna go kick it with Sandoval. They could be BFFs, like the motherfucker was playing pickleball. I had to get over that shit, And like, I was like, I would have paid a lot of money to have someone say, I've been where you are. This is how you deal with it. This is how it could be beneficial throughout the fucking winters. I don't care.
Yeah, so Lala's just reframing everything. She takes everything and then she reframes it in a different way to make herself this innocent person the whole time. That's not what you were saying at this thing. She's saying, I was just saying, you're going to have to deal with it better than I did. And Katie's like, that's not what you were saying. And she goes, am I going insane? Am I going insane? And she was like, no, I'm here to help you because we are neighbors now and we're in a throuble. I think to add on to like some of the issues you guys had, you said before some of the conversations, I don't want to talk about what they were, but before the conversation, remember those before conversations? Like, it would be nice if people rallied around both of us when they rallied around Ariana. So Katie's like, okay, but who wouldn't want people to who wouldn't want the audience to rally around them when they got divorced, And I've talked to Ariana about that. And I told her, of course, I would have loved people to rally around me like they rallied around you. So what?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, but Mike, she felt like you were her enemy. And Lala's like, yeah, I felt abandoned. I felt so abandoned by you.
Wow. Katie's like, well, but I abandoned because I didn't want to jump on the Tom train. Hold up. I didn't jump on the Tom trains either, okay? I jumped on my train. I jumped on the Lala train, Lala Express, the Lala Acela going directly from DC to New York City, no stops express, okay? That's the Lala train that I'm on, okay? Okay, dining cars, optional, costs an extra fee, upgrade to business class, it's a little quiet car, no talking on my trains, okay? That's the trains that I'm on right now, okay?
But you were on the Tom train, and then you were coming in and lecturing Ariana on how she needs to forgive Tom and how all this anger and blah, blah, blah. So stop trying to reframe it like, I'm just trying to save you from pickleball disasters, because that's not what you did. And Katie's actually handling this really well. She's just like, okay, like she's copping to it, but she's like, yeah, I did talk shit and say I was a little jealous that she was getting all this positive attention and I didn't, so what? But I was still very supportive of our friend. And Lala goes, Katie's, I do not like what you're doing right now. What is she doing? She's like, I didn't talk about that. You know what? You did talk about it that way. And we both had conversations about this, and it was beyond the support she was getting. It was basically that she abandoned you in the sandwich shop, and she wasn't caught up on her rent for the sandwich shop. She's like, what? He goes, yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. It's just, but we were paying rent. I don't know what you're talking about. And Sheena's like, did you confide in Lala or complain and bitch about the way you were feeling about Ariana? Yes, okay. So she bitched about Ariana going to Broadway because they were supposed to be opening the sandwich shop. This is what comes out right now. So she bitched to Lala saying, now we're supposed to open this restaurant. It's already a clusterfuck. And now she's going to Broadway and I didn't know about it. Like, what the fuck? Do we not have the right to talk shit to our friends anymore? How is nobody calling Lala up on bringing up private conversations and then trying to weaponize them against me? I'm trying to call you as my friend. You can't do that. That's not cool to bring up.
Yeah. Well, that's what Katie does right now. Katie's basically like, well, yeah, there was that one time I wish I would have gotten a little bit of a heads up because I didn't find out about the Broadway thing till after, which, by the way, that is terrible. Like, you're in business with someone. Like, could you imagine if Ronnie, I was like, Ronnie, I forgot to tell you, I'm not doing crap-ins for the next 3 months because I'm going to go be in Chicago. Like, that's not good. So then, but she was like, yeah. So she's pissed off. She tells Lala, and then Lala, and she's basically like, I thought I could tell you this. I was venting to you. And Lala's like, no, you and I are truth tellers. We say shit how it is. So why when the camera goes up, I'm telling the enemy and you're talking the same shit? Lala's basically like, you're talking shit about Ariana, but you won't do it on camera. And she's like, well, I didn't want to bring it to Ariana. I didn't want, like, she already has so much going on in her life. I didn't want to bring it to her right now. I'm like, aren't I allowed to have that?
How Sheena worded it is weird too, because now that I'm looking at the words here in black and white, hey, why are you talking about my autobiography? Tom, enough with that. But now that I'm seeing it here in black and white, Sheena says you called Lala to bitch about the way you were feeling about Ariana when she left to go do Broadway and didn't give you a heads up. So Ariana actually left? Because that shit's funny. I mean, if you're like, oh my God, our restaurant's going to be opening soon, and then you just see, Good Morning America, and Ariana's just like, he had it coming, or whatever.
Yeah, that's the old razzle dazzle.
And but it also brings more, I guess it could make you question Sheena's stuff earlier when she's like, why didn't you tell me about Dancing with the Stars, right? Because I guess Ariana's just doing all this stuff and just not really in contact with anybody. Which
makes you wonder about
all of the question, who are really friends on this show?
And how legitimate is this business, right?
Exactly.
So Katie's basically like, so what Lala's saying is, you can call me up and you can talk all this shit about Ariana, but you're not doing it on camera because you're afraid to go against the fan favorite on camera. That's basically what Lala is saying. And Katie's like, no, I didn't want to go to her with the drama because I didn't want to guilt her. And so I went to my other friend to vent about it. But if you're not someone I can confide in with that sort of shit, I'll go to someone else. And I don't want to take it to her. It's sort of an interesting nexus of these two things. Because on the one hand, like, I feel like you should be always able to vent to your friends if you've got something else. Like, sometimes you just need to burp something out. But then at the same time, Lala kind of has a point, which is like, well, if there's something on your mind, like, we're on a show, you're supposed to put it all the way out there.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that if you're feeling a certain way, you have the right to still talk to your friends and present it to the friend that you have a problem with in a different way. I mean, I vent to you all the time. I don't actually approach people the way I vent to you about them. I'm sharing all my feelings and how frustrated with you because I trust you. So if you took that and used it against me, especially on TV, when she's saying, like, this isn't cool, like, how am I supposed to deal with this? And Lala's presenting herself as someone you can trust, and you're like real friends now. And then Lala, who is saying that Katie's standing up for Ariana all this time just because she doesn't want to go against a fan favorite. Well, Lala is purposely coming on this season trying to take down the fan favorite. So how is that?
And the other
better?
difference,
and
the
so
other
she's
difference,
like
by
taking
the way,
all of Katie's stuff and use it as using it to weaponize against this person. It's just not. You know, she sucks.
Well, the other thing is, by the way, to sort of like walk back what I was saying a little bit, is that what Lala is complaining about, all the stuff with Chicago happened after the season was over. So, like, it's be one thing if the show was shooting, if like it was happening and Katie was like bitching, like on the phone, you know, and then during the day while they're shooting, being like all nice. But like the show, like the season's wrapped. So it's almost like Lala wanted Katie to go onto social media and talk shit about Ariana, which is like, that's just not how people operate unless you're just like craving attention in that way, which is what Lala does.
Yeah. So then Katie is like, but I came to you because I didn't want to go to her about it, you know, and if you're not someone I can confide in, I'll go to somebody else, you know? And so she's like, Katie, we had a phone call and you lost your mind on me. And she goes, yeah, because you wanted me to throw her under the bus. And I said no. And she's like, I wanted to film a show that we've been filming. You guys have been doing it 11 years. Lala, why are you acting like you are always filming everything? You are the biggest liar on this show. You've lied since you've got on this show. I cannot believe like Lala gets away with all of this shit. And she owns it kind of years after it's happened. She can own it and be like, yeah, well, I hid my relationship with Rand. You hid your relationship with Rand, with James, with like literally everything you've done on this show. What did you do this year? You talked about getting a sperm donor and you had a water party. So why are we yelling at somebody and like bringing them on and turning the whole audience against them and just getting everybody riled up against somebody else? It's not a storyline. You know what I mean? So why is she acting like she's the story generator? Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah. So Andy is like, so you want her to be the same person on camera as you felt she was off camera? And Katie's like, I am the same person. And Lala's like, I want to play the same game that we've been playing for the past 8 years. And so Katie's like, Lala, I've been the same fucking person the entire time. She goes, that's untruth. You've lost your mind. You say to me, I'm not going to say these things because I've invested a lot of money in the sandwich shop. And you say to me, if you're going to fuck with my business, Lala, I'm going to fuck with yours. And honest to God, I wanted to say to you something about her. It's really nothing about her right now. It's because you don't got a business. And mine is my livelihood, whatever my business is, and that I support my child on. So how dare you threaten to fuck it? Okay.
I love when Lala tries to get on the street. She's like, you don't got a business. Lala, please. You're so embarrassing. Lala, and there's something about her is really nothing about her. Just stop. It's so embarrassing. I'm like so embarrassed for her. I don't hate her and I don't love her, but I want the best for her, I guess. I mean, we've been watching these people on this show for a long time. And I'm so embarrassed for her, you know?
Lala, it's just funny that Lala is saying that like Katie is trying to like take down her business when what Lala is really trying to do is get Katie to have a public fight with her business partner, which would be catastrophic for the business.
And then she's saying, oh, yeah, well, she's going to fuck with my business. Oh, yeah, I support my child on my business. Okay, well, last night after the show, Lala starts promoting her Send It to Daryl shirts. I mean, come on. That's so sad. It's like a year ago. And it's not a joke. I mean, it was like funny for 2 weeks, and that's your business that's supporting your child. And it's not even about you. It's about Raquel. It's something else. It's other drama that you're inserting yourself into again, that you've been profiting on ever since it happened. You're still going onto your podcast and profiting off of it all the fucking time. And now you're yelling at somebody like your business is better than theirs. Give me a fucking break. Your business is based off of their business.
Yeah. Well, that was the end of part one. Lala.
Well, Katie responded on Instagram. Do you want to hear what she said?
Of
dun,
course.
dun, dun. I could tell you that, or I could tell you about the peacock, the white peacock that has escaped in my neighborhood that we're all searching for. Okay, I won't read that.
No.
Well, they know where it is, but they're like, do we take it, or is it trying to breed? It's breeding season right now, so apparently all the men are escaping and they're looking for chicks on the streets. So all the peacocks are like hooking up, and they're like, don't take the peacock away. He's just trying to get laid. That's what they do, and it's nature. And they're like, no, I'm worried about it. It's walking on the road. I'm going to take it to my farm. And then other people are like, you can't kidnap, you can't peacock traffic a peacock. It's great. I've been following it all morning. Okay, music kills Kate. I am someone who has suffered from imposter syndrome for as long as I have known myself. Hence why I was apprehensive about opening the sandwich shop on my own. So when Ariana was going through not only a world of hurt, but also getting some amazing opportunities, that changed a lot of things during a pivotal time. I was extremely sensitive to what she was going through, but also very supportive. I was also dealing with immense insecurity about what I could take on and simply didn't want to put that on her. I had an emotional response that didn't feel appropriate bringing to her front door, so I went out where I felt safe, or where I thought I was safe, until I could find the appropriate conversation was to have with Ariana, which of course I did, and we have had plenty since. So I think it's a pretty good response.
Yeah, I think that's good. But I guess we'll have to see what happens next week on the reunion. Hopefully next week won't be a total dud, because, you know, part 2 of reunions is always the dullest part of it all. But, you know.
Well, when do they start watching it? That's when it's going to get good.
I know. That's when it's going to be interesting. Probably not till part 3. That's probably when they're going to tease it out for us. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for being here. If you want these videos, bonus episodes, etc., Patreon, and the rest of you, we'll see you in Europe. Find that schedule at watchwhatcrappens.com or on our Instagram under the Crappens Goes to Europe post. And we'll see you there next week.
Bye, everyone.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Stroll in the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Hitchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
We forever love Ava.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
I'm Elena, an autopsy technician.
And I'm Ash, a hairstylist.
And we just love swapping stories about all of the morbid things that fascinate us.
And if you do too, join us on our podcast, Morbid. It's a safe space to let your weirdo flag fly.
On Morbid, we cover dark historical events, sinister science, unnerving paranormal events, and sordid high society murders.
We also dive deep into the most notorious crimes in history.
Our podcast is grounded in rigorous and painstaking research. We're also not afraid to read a
Yeah. We keep it weird because a dash of snark is necessary to get through grotesque true tales of demented minds.
So follow Morbid on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Morbid early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
I'm Shimol Yai, and I have a new podcast called The Competition. Every year, 50 high school senior girls compete in a massive scholarship competition.
I wouldn't say I have an ego problem, but I'm extremely competitive.
All of the competitors are used to being the best and the brightest, and they're all vying for a huge cash prize.
This will probably be the most intense thing you've ever gone through in your life.
I remember that feeling because I was one of them. I lost. But now I'm coming back as a judge and also a kind of teen girl anthropologist. Because if you want to understand what it's like to be a young woman in America today, the competition's not a bad place to start.
Hopefully, no one will die on stage tonight.
From Pineapple Street Studios and Wondery, this is The Competition. Follow The Competition on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to The Competition early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.